Hello everyone, welcome back to Inside Games, the only gaming news channel brave enough to talk about Serious Sam. I'm here with Igor Grinkevich on Timelock Studios. Igor, how you doing? Congratulations on shipping Siberian Mayhem.
Hey there, I am doing really great and I'm excited to see how it will release and read people reactions on that.
Yeah. Just to kind of lay the background here, you're a part of Timelock Studios who was a mod team, and then at some point you guys connected with Crow Team, decided to turn your mod work for Serious Sam into a full retail project. I'm fascinated to hear the full story about that. So how did Timelock as a group come together in the first place?
Okay, let's talk about that. So Timelock Studios was actually never even a mod team. We didn't have such a group. We were individual modders. We all were good in some own areas, like I was good in tech stuff, other guy was good at scripting. In September 2020, I think, near the release of Serious Sam 4, that's also important, we all are a part of Crow Team beta testing group, so we help testing the game. And near the release, we thought that the third episode of the game about Russia could be developed more. It could have some more content into it. It has more potential. And so our project lead, Evgeny, called us all and said, hey guys, let's make a DLC. After that, we made 80 pages design document, sent it to Crow Team to see what do they say. And they actually agreed. It was supposed to be a DLC for Serious Sam 4, and at some point it became a standalone expansion after we presented it to our publisher. They said, wow, that's awesome, and it also was too big for a DLC but too small for a game, so we went for a standalone expansion like it is now. It took its own name, Siberian Mayhem, and after that we decided that hey, we should make a studio.
Yeah, I guess so. So Yevgeny just kind of saw your talent and decided to just sort of task you with creating DLC content?
Oh yes, that was it.
Does it feel real now? I know mod teams, they always kind of toil in this kind of underground layer, but you guys are shipping a product now. Do you feel like a grown-up game developer?
Yes, for sure, because making a mod is, it may seem similar, but it is entirely different process. Like when you're making a mod, you just worry about making content. You make some content, you publish it, and that's it. And with the game, it's very different. Like you have to worry about stuff like deadlines, translations, and promotion. So yeah, I really feel very different.
Great! I can't wait to talk about all those changes. Was there any hesitation about that, or is this as soon as the idea was floated, everyone was on board immediately?
Yes, it maybe was a little hesitation, like they won't agree, it can't happen, they won't let fans work on their main individual project, but they did, so as soon as they did, all hesitation was gone.
Wow. I'm curious from your perspective, because from maybe amateur mod scenes or people who want to get into game development, it is sort of a Cinderella tale. Going from QA or beta testing on to developing game content and then launching a full product. Was there anything that seemed less than magical about it from your perspective, or was it really just you put in the time, you put in the work, you cultivated the skills, somebody at Crow Team saw that you had those abilities, gave you a project, and it's just been all work from there?
So yeah, it was all the work, but I think one thing which is actually a wonder is that is the team. It is a pure coincidence that every member of the team has some his own specialty. Like we were all just testers. We did not plan to be a team. We were called in because we were Russian testers and we can make a Russian DLC. And yeah, coincidentally, we all had great skills and worked great as a team.
Wow, so it just kind of worked out, huh?
Yeah.
You mentioned some of the other things that you're dealing with. I mean, what we're doing right now, ostensibly it's marketing. It's one of the tasks I'm sure you probably didn't see yourself doing as a tester or even somebody in the mod community. In addition to that, what are some of the other tasks or work that you've taken on that you didn't quite expect now that you're in the realm of shipping full retail products?
Yeah, I think I really didn't see myself helping with marketing stuff. I didn't see myself taking part in interviews. Yeah, I'm also helping with stuff like rendering things for trailers or translations. Yeah, there is a lot of work, but thankfully we've got Croteam and Devolver covering us with all that stuff. Like they have all that experience behind them, so they to tell us what we need to actually do to ship it.
In addition to all the publishing side of things, what guidance have you received from Devolver and Croteam that's really helped get this project over the finish line?
So Devolver obviously was mostly helping with promotion and marketing and publishing. Well, it's publisher for you. And Croteam, they were more like a technical side for us, creative side. They were consulting us, me for example, on optimization stuff. I think I really know a lot more about the engine now after this is coming to an end. I have been working with it for 6 years and I tried to crawl into every hole of it. And now they teach me stuff I never knew before, and it was like, wow, there is still something.
Yeah, well, that's always a fascinating process of experiencing software from, you know, the client's perspective or the user's perspective. Not to frame the question too hard, but from my coding days, it was always fascinating because you could really get a feel for a designer's or a programmer's personality based on the way things worked sometimes and the functionality it had and the quirks that were kind of baked into it. So were there any expectations you had that were then paid off? Were there any assumptions you had that were massively incorrect about how the engine worked? I'm curious about that aspect a little bit.
Yeah, I can just give an example. We have a main menu, obviously, and at some point there was a bug that when you enter the game, the menu is all blurry. So you don't want that. You don't want your main menu to be blurry even for a second or two. It's like representation of the game. Turns out that we need to set up some special entity so that when the world is started, before the world is started, world is in level and menu is a level. When your world starts from a chapter, the engine takes a round view from them. Like it takes straight, right, behind, left, and whatever it sees, it loads all those textures. I was like, what? It can do that?
So it does camera culling before the level's even rendered, basically?
Yeah, like that.
That's one of the things I like is when, you see somebody else's decision making or their engineering, and then you can appreciate the smart decisions that went into it. Speaking of smart decisions, though, I'd like to start talking about the actual content itself. So, Serious Sam is a strange franchise, a charismatic one, I guess I'd say, and that's what's always attracted me to it, is that it does have this freewheeling spirit, and also just this unrestrained nature that the map makers and the game creators aren't afraid of kind of having fun with the player. Of establishing expectations and then breaking them, surprising them. There's the infamous room that has 1 health in the middle of it, and you know as soon as you pick it up, something's bad is really going to happen to you. Is that the sort of design sensibility Timelock ran with for Siberian Mayhem? Did you want to bring your own flavor to it? What was basically your approach and your design spirit in crafting this content?
All of it. We've got some classic stuff in. We try to combine the classic stuff with modern stuff. In fights of Serious Sam 4, you could see that they are satisfying to participate, but they lack something. And that something, we believe, is working around environments. So we tried to make environments to fit in the gameplay. Like you have snowstorms which limit your visibility, you have corridors with fire traps, such stuff like that. I can't really recall it right now. I think the main thing of this game is surprises. Siberian Mayhem is all about surprises. We always love to surprise the player. Like you get unexpected boss, unexpected gameplay features, which I don't want to spoil them right now. I also, in one level, for example, which I was making, I tried to make some focus on exploration. Like, if you might know, Serious Sam 4 brought in technology for making very huge maps. Yeah,
That one motorcycle level where you're just driving around for 20 minutes, which is a surprise.
Yeah, no driving for 20 minutes.
I kind of like that. I like the downtime.
There is downtime for sure. Like the level I made, it is pretty big, and when one part of it is focused on exploration. Like you've got your transport, and you can just straight up drive to your objective, but you can also sidetrack yourself with other stuff. Like there is side quests, optional activities, and everything of course will reward you. Another thing we focused on is secrets. Like secrets, they also will surprise players. I swear. we really put a lot of effort into our secrets. Some of them are Easter eggs, referencing other games, maybe some silly stuff, just jokes and so on. Yeah, I really hope players will enjoy this aspect. We try to add more challenging achievements, unlockable stuff like player model skins or weapon skins. Everything is covered in surprises. Some of them are spoiled in trailers, but it's okay. There is still much more to see.
Oh, okay. It must be difficult to come up with something new and surprising in the realm of first-person shooters at this point. Once Timelock had formed, and you guys you talked about your 80-page design document, were all of these surprising ideas, whether it's, in the levels or just in the game or in anything, really, were all those ideas there to begin with? Did they tumble out as the project went on? And how do you grapple with trying to surprise players that have played first-person shooters for 3 decades or more?
Okay, that stuff wasn't there for sure. It wasn't in design document. Like we were coming up, if you say about secrets, we were coming up with them right on the spot. Like I was saying, hey, there is a good spot for the secret. Let's make something there. Hide the health kit or what? No, let's make something big. And then 3 days of work, we get something interesting. Then after several weeks, testers enjoy it, like it, and then we come at it again and let's improve it. And put a couple of days of work more into it. And yeah, some of secrets were built exactly like that. The game was planned to be 3 levels DLC. Like our community will sure know it from digging files. They were extremely big, so we had to split them in halves in order to make that not too exhausting experience. For Serious Sam shooter, it is you don't want to stop playing level until you finish it. One could say, okay, you have 2 hours level, just save and quit. People don't do that. They play until the end and then they are exhausted, so we had to split.
Okay. You would just get cool ideas you didn't want to leave behind. You ended up cramming those in levels. The levels got too long for player comfort. You would split them up into multiple levels, and then before you knew it, you had a retail-sized product on your hand. Is essentially that the way it went?
Yep, that's what happened. Serious Sam 4 also had those 2 big levels. They had some splits, but even those I think weren't as big. So I believe we really outdid ourselves.
When you talk about finding a nook that might be good for a secret, and you could just throw some health there and move on with your day, but the intent or the desire to do more and surprise players turns into a days and weeks long affair. How do you, as a player, believe me, I love that, but as developers, surely at some point that's gotta start butting up against your milestones, because you mentioned those kind of at the beginning, how you have deadlines for deliverables and stuff like that. At what point do you have to actually pin in your ambition, because working on something for 3 weeks when you could just put an armor there might push something else out?
I believe that our modding experience helped that a lot. So even when we were on planning production stage, I think we got mistaken by just a couple of months where we could make it finished. And believe me, if we went by initial plan, it would be finished sooner. Like we would fit it into the plan. We were working on a feature, and at some point someone says, "Hey, let's add this," and then everyone like, "No, too much. Stop."
What are you most proud of when it comes to Siberian Mayhem?
If you ask me, I was the one coming up with secrets ideas, and their first iterations Yeah, I'm very proud of that. That's why I'm talking about it so much.
Is there something you're really, really excited for people to find and excited to see people's reactions to?
There is some stuff, like there is a secret referencing a real life person, and our community knows it very good, and yeah, I'm sure they will love it.
Okay, that's cryptic. I like it. Based on all the secrets and stuff like that, what would your advice be to players, both people who have played a lot of Serious Sam in the past and maybe people who haven't, about how to approach Siberian Mayhem and the best way to enjoy it?
It's okay to play it as you like. It is still your classic Serious Sam experience. Level design may be changed, but the gunplay, the way you play Sam, it didn't really change much, so it is still the same. But now you can also do some more exploration. You can also skip it at all. Skip it at all and leave it for your second playthrough, because you will want it. I'm also eager to see how people will speedrun it.
Yes, it really it's the ultimate crucible for level design and scripting and really everything in a game, when you have a player just try to bash against the walls as hard as they can and see where they break.
Like, we had our testers report a lot of bugs, small bugs, like you can get out of bounds here. We were closing them for several months, and I'm still sure there are some here and there, and when speedrunners will discover them, we will probably be like, wow.
Well, all right, Igor, thank you very much. As a big Serious Sam fan, I'm very grateful for more serious content. Congratulations to you and everyone at Timelock for shipping your first retail game. And hopefully you get to do the post-release sleep for a couple of weeks. Do you have anything planned post-release? Any celebrations?
Yes, not celebrations, I mean, we have work planned.
Just back to work, yes.
Of course, we plan to support the game, to do bug fixes, obviously, to add some content like survival mode, maybe some player model skins, more of them, stuff like that. No, it's not celebrations. You know, we actually, me and our whole team did not meet each other in real life, never. The internet allows working like that.
It's pretty amazing stuff. That's the true mod community spirit, I guess, is you only know people through pictures and their online handles and the things that they upload to GitHub, I guess. Well, congratulations again. It's not often that mod teams get to come together and ship retail products, so that's really cool. Obviously, due to the hard work and talent of everyone at Timelock and the grace of Devolver and Crow team. So congratulations, and yeah, Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem, a standalone mid-quill to Serious Sam 4 is out now. So go check it out. The game is crazy, and it will subvert your expectations, I promise. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lawrence.